Hi ladies, how are you?
Hi,
Thank you so much for coming. חודש שמח, חודש אדר, happy month בעזרת השם. A lot of ישועות, a lot of ברכות. בעזרת השם, בעזרת השם. So once there were two identical twins that were born to a family. And unfortunately, the father, he was alcoholic. So, one of the boys turned out to be alcoholic like his father, and the other one became a very successful businessman. So they asked, you know, as the kids, they grew up, they asked the kids, what made you make a decision or become the one that you are now? So the alcoholics say, well, my father. The other one, the very successful businessman, said, because of my father. And the question is, how come, because of the father, one turned out to be, you know, totally successful and the other one totally not? And so see, yeah, how, you know, the father influenced or affected the boys. The one imitated his father, was completely like his father. He was drinking, he liked alcohol, he was addicted to it. And the other one, because he didn't want to be like his father, he went totally to the other direction, just because he didn't want to be like his father. So here we see two identical twins that sometimes have same qualities, sometimes have the same, well, they do have the same looks and everything, but turn out to be totally different people because one of them had a different outlook. One of them had a different point of view, perspective, okay? Wanted to do a difference, wanted to change. Some people, they have a fixed mindset. That's me, don't touch me, I cannot change, you know. And some, they grow from wherever they are, and they look at everything as sometimes a lesson in life. Okay, sometimes they take it as a point, as a challenging point, and they grow from this. Okay, so everyone looks at things differently. Rav Agaon, Rav Eliezer Silver, he lived, he was a rabbi here in the United States from Cincinnati, and once came to him someone and complained to him that he dropped religion right after the Holocaust. Once he saw all the troubles, all the bad decrees, all the sufferers, all, you know, whatever happened there, he decided he doesn't want to be religious anymore. And you know why? It's all because of a siddur, a prayer book, a Jewish prayer book. The rabbi said, a siddur? Why? So he said, well, in the concentration camp where we were, after being there for a long time, and it's very hard to survive there because of the conditions and everything, and because of the torture, and because of whatever, the killings, the death, and whatever was there. So there was a rumor spreading in the camp that one of the Jews has a siddur, has a prayer book. And everyone would go to him and ask him and beg him to pray from this prayer book, in this hell, in this difficult place and difficult time. They would like to cling to something, to find a way to pray to Hashem. Why not? If they have a siddur, why not? But that guy that had the siddur, that owned the siddur, all his, you know, business calculation, you know, arose or whatever, and he thought how to Benefit from this. So he would ask them, so what would you give me in return if I'll give you the siddur? And they had to give him their only margarine portion. They get, I don't know how many grams of margarine portion per day. They had to give it to him in order to get few minutes, you know, and pray from his prayer book. And so this guy gets filled with margarines, all his pockets gets full, and or maybe, you know, he ate and became But eventually they killed him too, he said.
Wow.
So why should I stay religious if I see people acting this way? And from a sitter, you know, the rabbi listened and he said, you know something? I thought something else completely. I admire the people that sacrifice their life to get a few moments with Hashem. It's so beautiful. The Mesut Nefesh that people did in this time, in the Holocaust. How come you looked at you know, at that person and the way that he conducted himself? Okay, one person did something, but look at all the other people, how they felt about finding a sitter in such a place. And so it all depends at how we look at things. Harosh wrote in his book Orchot Chaim, he says a very strong sentence. He wrote, the nature of the people is to reveal the bad and cover the good. People like to concentrate, to think, you know, about the bad and not recognizing the good that they have in their life. And I will ask you, how many times happened to us something that I'll tell you now? Unfortunately, it happens often. One of the rabbis, okay, lived in Europe. And one little village in Europe. And he used to gather his town fellows, his people in the town, used to gather them every Shabbat to his house to have Dvar Torah, to eat something, to have Zmirot of Shabbat, to have a gathering. You know, this is how, you know, the community, this is how he gathers people, this is how they talk about all kind of stuff. And he had this kind of a rule that whenever somebody has a simcha, somebody has a happy occasion in his house, okay, somebody got engaged, or somebody has a brit milah, or somebody has a wedding, or something, he goes with all his congregants, with all his students to that person, and they spend time together, because why not to spend a good time with people? This is something that he had. One very, very wintry night, Shabbat, okay, people came to his house. Oh, they said, they ate, they drank, on the Shabbos, everything was nice, beautiful. But then the rabbi said, listen, the miller, the one that grinds the flour, the miller, he has a baby boy. And tonight is his, the night before the Brit, Shalom Zachar, or Brit Yitzchak, we call it, right? So we have to go there and, you know, share the simcha with him. And the people tell him, Rabbi, come on, look at outside. It's storm outside. The snow piles up, and it's so cold, and the wind is blowing, and it's far away. Besides, that miller, he's so ignorant. He won't appreciate the fact that you go to him, that we all go to him. The rabbi said, nevertheless, we have to go, we have to do it, because we have to do a mitzvah. Okay, the rabbi said. They put on their clothing, their coats, okay, and bundle themselves, and they know that it's very, very cold outside. And they have to walk, I don't know how long, at least half an hour to get to his house. Snowing, they're falling, they're hurting themselves, they're getting up again, and you know, getting frozen and whatever, until they reach to that miller's house, to that person. They knock at the door. He opens. Who could it be in the middle of the night, in the middle of the winter? He sees a bunch of Jews coming to his house. He turns to his wife and he says, look at them. They did all this way just to get some arbes. Arbes is the hummus that they eat, you know, in this occasion. To eat some chickpeas. To look how they tried. Look the way that they did to get some chickpeas, huh?
Oh my.
So, outlook of a person that, you know, instead of being grateful for the people who came and everything, when people go to a gym, okay, let's say you want to kickbox or you want to train certain muscle, is it enough that you're going to do it for 5 minutes and you're going to be professional in this? You have to go a few months at least in order to train a certain muscle, right? If we want to learn to see the good in other people, in the world, in the nature, in the way Hashem conducts this world, we have to train ourselves for that. It's not going to come naturally. We have to train ourselves for that. I'll give you one more example how an outlook of a person, how it changes everything. There's a big company in the United States, they sell refrigerators. Let's say General Electric, okay? And they sell a refrigerator in every place, not only in the United States, in the globe if you want.
Right.
Every place you want, you look, there's a seller there. One time, it was this young salesman that just, graduated college. I wanted to show, that he's capable, that he's able to do marketing, he's able to do business, this and that. He goes to the manager, he sends applications, he wants to be, to be a salesman, and they didn't accept it, and they didn't even answer him, and because they don't need, they have sellers everywhere. But he insists, and he goes, and he calls, until he made an appointment with the manager himself, okay, and the executive director himself, and they met to discuss, he wants to be a part of to be a salesman. The executive director tells him, I don't need you. We have sellers in every point, okay? He shows him the map. Okay, he tells him, you see all these dots? The dots shows all the salesmen that we have all over. And look, you can see yourself if there's a place, in the globe where we don't have sellers there. It's occupied. We don't need you. So he was almost quitting. He was almost giving up. But then he saw a place that there's no dot there. Antarctica.
Oh my gosh.
So the executive tells him, do you really want to go there? You want to sell ice to the Eskimos? Or what do you want to do?
Oh, wow.
He says, give me a chance. I'll prove you that I could do that. How are you going to do it? He says, give me a chance. Give me 1 month. I won't take a salary for that. I won't profit from this. No, nothing. Just send me and I'll prove you that I can do it. Okay, go. He gives him prospects, he gives him all the brochures, he gives me all kind of receipt books, he gives him all whatever he needs, all the paperwork that he needs. He takes everything and he goes. They wait 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. After a month, they start getting orders. Their email box starts to get filled up with orders from Antarctica. And you said to yourself, what does he do there? How can he sell ice to the Eskimos? They thought probably it's kind of a trick or kind of a scam or some kind of something. And soon they will start getting all kind of cancellation orders and everything. But no, they keep getting orders. Like, like you have in the hot countries, you need a refrigerator, like California, I don't know, Mexico, other places, you need the refrigerator, and they get these orders from there and they don't understand. After a while, he was so curious, this executive director, he sends him, on his account, he sends him a ticket, a plane ticket. He said, please come, I want to ask you, what exactly you do there? How come we have so much success in Antarctica now? So he comes and he asks him, tell me, what's your secret? How do you do this? How can you sell, refrigerators in Antarctica? He tells him, let me ask you a question. Why do people have a refrigerator here in New York, let's say? Because you need to keep the food cool, right? Otherwise it gets spoiled, it's not good. Now think what happens in Antarctica. In Antarctica, the weather is so cold. It's, I don't know, 50 degrees Fahrenheit below. It's cold. Now, they need to keep their food warm. You know what happens in the refrigerator?
It stays warm.
It's so much warmer than the outside. So I sell it to them as a place, you know, that keeps your food warm.
Not frozen.
Not
Not
frozen.
frozen.
So you see, once you switch your mindset, you can get to all kind of horizons that you were never there before. It's so beautiful the way you look at things. This is what we say. We need to train ourselves to see the good. Otherwise, people think, you know, I'm miserable. I have so much deficiencies. I have so much problems. I have so much defects. This is not good, and this is not. Of course, you can find problems in everywhere, in every situation, but this is not what we're going to focus. We're going to focus on the good, Bezat Hashem. So, Haramak, in his book, Tomer Dvorah, says that it's our obligation to look and to seek for the good, okay, for the positive thinking, that for the positive that is in our neighbors, in our friends, in our brothers, sisters, friends, okay? And we have to look at our friends from this type of an aspect that shows us the good side of them, not the bad side of them, okay? Because naturally people look at the bad. And we have to train ourselves. Avodat Hashem is to look at the good of the people, okay? And to say in everything, Dayenu. I got this, Dayenu. Dayenu, it's enough. It's got, Baruch Hashem, that Hashem gave me this, you know? And to thank Hashem for this. Look at how Judaism look at this. Positive thinking is something that everyone learns. Baruch Hashem nowadays, you know, you see it, you try to meditate, you say, you know, I have a beautiful world. But the question is, does it really help?
Yes.
But once we change our mindset, it is so much different. The Gemara speaks about Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia had a bad wife.
How bad?
She was bad. She would torture him. She would make him feel bad. She would make fun of him. She would, you know, you ask something, she gives you a different food just because you ask something, you know. And from the other side, there was this Greek philosopher by the name Socrates. And he also happened to have Socrates. He also happened to have a bad wife. So they were both challenged, these two people didn't live at the same time, but they were both challenged by these tough women in their life, okay, in the house. But see how each and one of them related to his wife. Once Socrates, he made a big feast. He, you know, invited all his friends to come over. He opened for them a table. He set a table, lots of goods on the table, lots of sweets, all kind of delicatessen on the table. And as they sit, as they drink, as they do that, all of a sudden his wife comes in. She saw all the party. She got very upset. She knocks this table. She throws all the dishes. She breaks them.
Wow.
And you know, the house is a whole big mess now. Everything is on the floor. The guests are so embarrassed. The guests feel so bad. You know, how come the hostess, she does such a thing? And they look at him and they see that he doesn't get upset. And they no, Socrates. So they ask him, why are you not upset? How come you have so much tolerance to her?
It's nothing.
Huh? He said, I'll tell you what. Last week, I had a table, a set table, also food. We had food on the table and stuff. From the yard, from the outside, came a chicken. Went on top of the table. With his wings, with his days, made such a balagan. All the food was spilled and the dishes broke, this and that. So what, you're going to be upset at the chicken? Okay? Okay, my wife made me upset. Big deal. It's like a chicken. It's like an animal. I don't know. But Rabbi Chia, when his wife upset him, and it says that one of the rabbis says, so Rabbi Chia, he treated his wife differently. It says that if he would see in the market or somewhere a special food that she likes, something that she's fond of, that's something that he knows that he would buy it for her, keep it in his pocket, and give it to her for her to enjoy. And the rabbi, it says, Rav is asking him, why do you do that? She's wicked. She's terrible. She embetters your life. He tells him, Dayan, שמגדלות את ילדינו, it's enough that she raises my kids, okay, and she prevents me from sins. The fact that I know that I have a wife, I have a woman in the house, it's so much easier for me, to see all these women outside and whatever, it's enough for me. See? Socrates, he said that his wife is like an animal.
Of course.
And Abichia, everyone knew that she's bad, okay? But he focused on the good qualities that she had. She raises his kids, and she prevents him from sins. It's a beautiful way of seeing, of looking, okay, at his whatever the problem that he has. So, I would like to ask you a few questions now. This is a kind of a questionnaire to see if we usually focus on positive thinking or not. Question number 1. When something that's not expected forces you to change your plans, okay? Do you right away try to see, the positive aspects and the advantages of this new situation or not? Okay, so these questions here, never, seldom, sometimes, usually, always. And then there's also numbers, and then they give you they check you afterwards, and they tell you where you're standing. Another question, for example, do you like most of the people that you meet in life?
Of course, I have no choice.
Okay.
Just like them, right?
Number 3.
Just keep yourself happy.
I think it depends on your perspective. If you choose to see the good in
You don't have
everyone,
to
then
like them, you
fine.
have to respect them.
Yeah.
No. Do you like? That's the question.
No,
Do you like?
don't have to like.
Because each
Okay.
person is sent to
Okay.
by Hashem. So
That's interesting.
When you think about the new upcoming year, okay, do you tend to think that the new year will be better than this present year or not?
Of course, always.
A question. Another question.
It means you don't enjoy this year, then. It means you never will enjoy it. Like
Right.
you always wait and wait
No.
next year, so you have to enjoy this year.
Today, yeah.
You
Today
learn to
now.
enjoy, right?
Make the best of it. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Look for the good.
Does it happen that you stop and dedicate few minutes to be grateful for good things that happen in your life?
Absolutely.
Okay. When someone finds a defect in you, or something that you did, can you do this? Can you distinguish between constructive criticism or complaining? You think he just wants to complain, he just, sits on the nerve, he whatever, okay?
I mean, from husband, you don't want to take constructive criticism, right?
Immature people don't take constructive criticism.
I'm just giving you questions, I don't answer anything.
We'll discuss this after.
After?
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Put the camera off. Okay, we have a lot to say.
Do you praise your spouse,
Yes.
Of course.
your friend, your co-worker, a family member, very often? Okay? Or you usually more in
As needed.
criticism? Huh?
As needed.
As needed. Oh, how much is needed? Okay. Do you believe in do you believe in humanity?
Humanity.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That people that they could still exist and prosper for the next, I don't know, another tens of years, from now, or some people say this is the end of the world. People are so bad already. It cannot be worse than that, or whatever.
Deus advocați.
When one of your friends disappoints you, are you surprised?
Extremely.
Close friends, yeah.
Extremely surprised.
Never surprised for anything.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're
Expect
happy?
unexpected.
Do you think that you're happy?
I know I'm happy.
That's
Wow.
very easy.
And that will have no choice.
Do you feel confident enough to make fun of your own defects sometimes?
All the time.
I don't.
All of us, yeah. We have a sense of humor.
You have to know yourself first.
When you think about the last month, okay, that just passed, do you tend to concentrate, to focus on your successes or on your failures? Okay,
Depends on what.
these are some questions that
Depends on the ratio.
Huh?
Yes.
Depends on the
Depends
ratio.
on okay. So according to the answers, it depends. If you're pessimistic, if you're optimistic, if this, or usually irregular, whatever. But how do we think positive? How can we train ourselves to think positive? There's a game that's called I'm Glad That. Okay, I'm glad. And the game, the aim, the target, the purpose of this game is to take something that happens to the person, okay, and to identify it. How do you identify it? As you try to identify it as a happy occasion that happened to you, and for example, a sentence like I was laid off, I was fired from my job, okay.
Baruch Hashem. Something better is around the corner. For me.
But, and then you continue, but I'm trying to do my best either to find a new job, or now I have some time to spend with my kids, or I do some other things. I learn a new, I don't know, art now, or something else, right? Where do you take it to?
It's all good.
So
I'm not thinking about my rent.
Huh? Okay, fine. Beautiful. So,
Tuition.
so one of the foundations of positive thinking is to find the good in every situation, even in situations that look to you so bad. So you cannot grow from this. Or, nothing good can come out of it. Okay, this is. It's important to adopt this type of a thinking because it can help you a lot in life. Searching for another tool is searching for positive people that will be. You're going to be next to positive people. If you're next to people that always, tell you you're worthless, you won't be able to do it, you cannot succeed, you cannot really grow with them. It's very hard. But if you have people next to you that pushing you and giving you hope, it's so much easier.
Rabbanit, what can you do if you have people around you that you cannot hide from, but you cannot really influence at the same time? It's like, how do you just stay positive but being respectful of
Accept people as they are, because you can't really change them. You tried, I'm sure you tried endless times, and it's like you're going into this wall, and you can't really do so much there. Accept them, because you can feel that they're miserable, and their thoughts make them, not to become, not to grow, and it's very hard. So what can you do?
So how can you explain it to kids, let's say, for example?
So kids, Baruch Hashem, are not like adults. A baby
Very forgiving.
tries to
Always smile.
walk when he's 10 months old. How many times he falls?
Oh,
You don't say you're worthless or nothing's going to come out of you, because baby, and the beauty of baby art is that they keep getting up again, and they try again, and they try again, because they don't have this mindset that as adults we put in our minds, I won't be able to do this. They continue, they don't mind, they don't care about the consequences, they don't care about what people might think about them, what
They
they
have no
don't.
fear.
They don't.
No freedom.
So with kids, it's so much easier. You can teach them. You can speak about morality. You can speak. You can give them through all kind of examples, through all kind of stories. And sometimes when you see, let's say, a grandfather, grandmother, an aunt, or somebody that acts not right, you can tell them, how would you take care of this? How would you act in this situation? And you will see that they will answer you themselves. Okay?
You know what I tell my kids in that situation? I tell them Hashem giving us a chance to grow spiritually. You know, we have to fix ourselves, not that person. Whoever does something bad to you, you have to work on your midot right now.
Right.
This is your chance to grow.
And this is why we
That's
have
what I
these
tell them.
challenges, of course. Beautiful. So another thing is to be grateful, okay, to people that helped us, to Hashem, to everything. So we take so many things for granted, and to focus on the good things that happen to us. Another practice is to use the freedom of choice that we have and to change negative thoughts to positive, because there's no other way. You have to change negative to positive. You have to do it. For example, if you say to yourself, again I failed in this test, again I tried and it didn't work out, you say to yourself, I know that I can. I know that I have the abilities to do. I know that I have the conditions to succeed. I'll just have to try this way. I'll have to try that way, or whatever. You put yourself positive reinforcements instead of the negative that you get it enough from your family, I'm sure. And so, if a very stressing thought comes to you, I won't manage. I won't be able to finish the assignment on time. You say to yourself, no, I can do it. I know that I can. I'll try to, cut here, cut there, to do this. So basically, to declare, and you need this declaration, affirmation sometimes that people have, that in first person and in present also, that you could do, and whatever happens in your life, it's in your control, and you'll be able to do it. B'ezrat Hashem. Somebody came to a rabbi and he asks him a question. He says, Rabbi, all my life is full of suffering, full of sadness, full of bad things that happened to me, painful, this, that. Why Hashem made it this way that I'm suffering all this time, all my life? The rabbi tells him, how do you know that the sadness and the trouble that you have in your life is a result of your sufferings? Sometimes, maybe it's the opposite. Sometimes because you're sad, you suffer.
Yeah.
And you try to overcome your depression, your weak and bad thoughts that you have, okay? And you will see how you're growing from it, how you're becoming happier from this. Baal Shem Tov once was approached with this question. It says, שנו רבותינו במסכת ראש השנה, אדם נידון בכל יום ובכל שעה. A person is sentenced every day, every hour even. And we know that in Rosh Hashanah, he is sentenced, but in Yom Kippur, the verdict is signed up, already signed. How come? If the verdict of a person is decided already on Rosh Hashanah, what exactly is he sentenced every day? It was already decided, no? So the students of the Baal Shem Tov were asking him this question, and he answers them. He tells them, he calls the water carrier to his shul, to his Bet Midrash, and he asks him, no, how is your parnasa? How is your livelihood? And the guy, he says, Rabbi, I'm telling you, I have such a privilege, you have no idea. Every day in the morning, I get up early in the morning, and I have the privilege of bringing water to my whole town people, men, women, babies, elders, and it's all on my shoulder. Because of me, they're drinking. Because of me, they're alive. They're healthy and everything. I feel so grateful that I have this merit. Hashem granted me this merit, and I'm doing this, and I'm okay, and I'm fine. And then in the end of the day, when I get home, my wife even lets me go to the rabbi's shiur, and so I hear also Dvar Torah. I hear a shiur. What could be better than that? I'm happy. I'm lucky. The rabbi blessed him, sent him home. The next day he calls him again. He tells him, "No, how's your parnasa?" And he gives such a very deep sigh, and he said to the rabbi, "Rabbi, oi, it's so hard. How come I have to get up early in the morning? And it's my responsibility to bring the water to all the people in this town. Men, women, kids, elders, this and that. I have to carry the water in all my shoulders to all these people." And people, instead of paying me, they look at me and they pay me little cents, few cents, nothing. And then my wife makes me go to the rabbi's shiur in the end of the day. And so the rabbi blessed him, and he went home. And he turns to his student, and he said, "You see, Hashem sentenced the person on Rosh Hashanah that he's going to be a water carrier. That's his job. But the way he's going to feel about that, Adam Nidon, the person himself, he senses himself every day how he's going to feel about that. If he's going to be happy about this, or he's going to be miserable about this." So this is so important because it's in our hand, okay? The way that we look at things, the way that we look at life. I saw another thing here. A man was rich, but he lost money. He became poor, and every day he was walking, worry, how I'll be able to do my day, how I'll be able to pay all my bills. What should I do? What should I do? He was depressed. He felt like he's defeated. He felt like he's beaten. He felt like. So one day, as he was walking in the street, he saw down the road a man that unfortunately, la alenu, didn't have legs. He was sitting on this kind of a wooden flat board, and as he saw him, he started to approach him. He had wooden sticks that he would, push himself, walks towards him, and he greeted him so nicely. This man that became poor says, "Good morning, how are you? You look so happy." And this guy was thinking to himself and say, "I saw that I'm miserable. Oh Hashem, I have my feet, I have my legs, I have my briut, I have my health, I have everything is okay with me. How could I feel so miserable when I see that there are people that are more miserable than me, and still he's happier than me? So I could do it too. I could also work on myself to be happy. Cannot be that a person that has." We concentrate on the bad. That's our problem, and we shouldn't think like that. Every day we get up, every day we breathe, every day we eat, we drink, we have food, and you put all these things aside and say, "She didn't look at me in the right way today." Okay, so I want to tell you a nice Dvar Torah, and then we'll finish up afterwards. In Birkat HaMazon, in the end, we have two brachot. We have Birkat Bonei Yerushalayim, and we have the bracha of Hatov HaAmiti. Okay? Bonei Yerushalayim is a request from Hashem to build Yerushalayim again. It's like a request. And Birkat Hatov HaAmiti is thanking Hashem, Hatov HaAmiti. Birkat Hatov HaAmiti was Birkat Bonei Yerushalayim was fixed at the time of the Bet David Shlomo, King David, when Yerushalayim was built. And you say to yourself, how come? When Yerushalayim is built, people have prosperity, everything is great there, spiritually and materialistically. Everything is fine. Why are you asking Hashem, Bonei Yerushalayim? And the opposite, ברכת הטוב והמיטיב, it's not just thanking Hashem. It was fixed in the most difficult time, one of the most difficult times in Jewish history. חורבן ביתר, when ביתר was destroyed. מה זה חורבן ביתר? You remember what
City of
happened there?
Batia, yeah.
City of
It was
Batia. Right after the
closed.
destruction of Yerushalayim, that millions of people died in that destruction of the temple.
Terrible.
4 million Jews. 4 million Jews died in Beitar only.
They
Forget
closed the
about
whole
what happened in
city.
Yerushalayim. In Beitar itself, they say that the description in the Gemara is that the Romans, I believe, didn't let them to bury the dead people. And you know, Israel is a hot weather. It's 4 million people. Okay, that it says that their blood was flowing so much, and it got to the nose of the horses, and the
Like a wall.
sea, which is so far from Yerushalayim, okay, was filled with the color of blood for I don't know how long time. And this flow of blood would roll even big giant rocks. This is how strong flow was this. The Romans didn't let them bury the dead people. Eventually, after 7 years, they let them bury the dead people. And this is when they did Birkat HaTov HaMitiv. HaTov, that Hashem made a miracle, that these bodies for 7 years were there laying on the streets and
Did
didn't
nothing.
rot and didn't smell.
That's a big one.
The Hamitiv, that they allow them eventually to bury them so that it won't lay down disgraceful like this. They declared. So, why do we have to say the Birkat Hamazon, these two blessings? Why it was fixed to say that in Birkat Hamazon?
So it's all over.
You see, when people today are sitting and eating a meal, they have to thank Hashem for the meal. There are some people that they feel content with what they have and they will bless Hashem for everything that they got. Beautiful. But most people, okay, and we included, will think, okay, thank you Hashem for I ate, but it wasn't Seudat David, Seudat Shlomo HaMelech. It's not a feast that Shlomo HaMelech. I didn't eat delicatessen or something. I had some cheese and bread. Not a big deal. And so the rabbis tell him, don't think about what you don't have. Focus on what you have, because that's very important. Those people in Beitar, okay, what suffer they went through, what trouble, how hard it was for them. You're not in that. You think about, count your blessings that you have now. That's basically the idea. Count your blessings. Don't concentrate on the bad. Concentrate on the good that you have, and you will see you're going to be so much happier. Then you can bless Hashem with really, excitement and with a lot of happiness. So it says, Charles de Gaulle, he was a former president of France. And once a reporter asked him a question, he tells him, can I ask you a question? Do you consider yourself a happy person? So Charles de Gaulle, without even thinking, he answered him, what type of, you think I'm dumb? Meaning, a lot of people, they think that if you hope and think that everything will be good, you're dreaming.
Right.
You're not living reality.
I hear that from all the time.
Okay? And it's not true. It's not the way it's supposed to be done. Because if people are optimistic, a lot of studies show that even sick, very, very sick people that lay in and they have a very strong disease, laying down in hospitals, okay, if they're optimistic, okay, they could survive their bad disease, okay, and especially if they have a belief, if they have a faith. Because emunah and simcha and happiness go together. It says simcha otiyot machshava. The same letter of the word simcha, happiness, is machshava. Put a thought and then you'll be happy. Okay? So emunah and simcha goes together, because people who lack emunah, they tend to be not happy people. But once you know that everything is from Hashem, once you know that Hashem is doing the best for you, once you know that He cares for you, that He's there for you, okay, you feel good. I wrote here 7 principles that wrote Rabbeinu Batia in Sefer Chovat HaLevavot about bitachon, about trust in Hashem. This is the foundation, okay, of bitachon. It says we have to believe every day that Hashem loves every one of us, okay, and He has mercy on every one of us, and He's ready to fulfill all our wishes. Number 2, we have to believe that Hashem cares and supervises strictly, okay, takes care of all our needs. Number 3, we have to believe that Hashem is so strong and He's the Almighty, and all the powers, all the strength, it's all Him and from Him. Number 4, we have to believe that Hashem knows to the smallest details the benefit of whatever we need, okay? The benefit of all of us. Number 5, Hashem leads and rules not only the world, but each and every individual life from the day that he's born till the end of his days. Number 6, no one can harm me and no one can benefit me without His will, okay? This is something that we have to learn. And number 7 is His goodness and His generosity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very great, is very big to each and every one of us. Once we know these principles, okay, we are going to be happy. How happy is the person that knows that he has a straight line with Hashem? You want to try to call someone on the phone, right? You need to know that the line is not busy, okay? He doesn't have a second line. He's focusing on you, okay? He doesn't have answering machine, okay? You can get a straight connection. No voicemail or all this. Straight connection, and Hashem desires, wants to hear you pray to Him, you know, thank Him, and be grateful. Thank you.
That was nice.
Thank you.